Hi everyone, it is Nyma from Nurse Nyma Aesthetics. I am doing a video today on my signature hair regrowth treatment. It is one of my most popular treatments that I'm doing. It's also one of the treatments that I get the most questions about in terms of the procedure and things like that. So this video is to explain what actually goes on with the signature hair regrowth treatment. Now, the signature hair regrowth treatment is a PRP treatment, essentially, to stimulate the follicles of your existing hair and producing thicker, stronger, more luscious hair, essentially. Now, it is suitable for people with underlying medical conditions in most cases. So if you're unsure, you should always speak to your doctor, but it is generally well tolerated and very safe for people who do suffer from androgenic alopecia, which is the hair thinning. Hair loss essentially in general, and then also your alopecia areata, which is like the bald patches. It's also suitable for alopecia barbae, so for beard regrowth as well, and menopausal hair loss, stress hair loss, thyroid hair loss. There's plenty of indications for PRP hair loss treatment. With myself. It is all completed with medical oversight as well, and I also like to do a little bit of a consultation with you prior to having the therapy, or at least a chat over the phone, if not a face-to-face consultation. The consultations that I complete are free. Okay, and there's a few little bits and pieces that you should probably know about before you complete the treatment, but if you're in the chair and you're ready to go and you're at Nurse Nyma Aesthetics, this is basically what will happen. We'll have a consultation. That's the first thing. So I get out my little light, okay, and then I actually take a really good look at your actual hair itself. Okay, so there's a magnifying light in here as well. We don't need the LED. So this one here will give me a really good view of those hair follicles, and we'll actually take a photo of before as well. And this is a really, really good device to use for the before photos, and we can compare it over time. Okay, and actually monitor that hair growth. And I want to make sure you've actually got the follicles there, just to manage your expectations and, you know, give you a rough estimate on the type of growth that I'm actually hoping to see throughout the treatment as well. So with the treatment, once we've done a consultation, we've spoken about, you know, before care, after care, other things that you could be implementing in your diet, other bits and pieces, which is a bit of a secret until you come and see me. We talk about the hair. So this is my lovely hair model here. My daughter thought it was a candle, which is very random, but anyway. So as you can see here, you've got the hair. You've got the bulb of the hair. This is the hair shaft, and you've got the actual little hair that sticks out the top because it lives in this root shaft here. Now, what happens when the blood actually gets stimulated and that increased blood flow occurs as a result of my treatment? The bulb becomes thicker. So think of it like a tree trunk, and you see these really big trees, and then you see these really slim trees, and they just look like they're withering away. Well, think about the groundwork that goes in behind the thick, juicy tree. It's got beautiful soil, it's lush, it's got all these nutrients and things like that from its network from the environment and so forth. Maybe there's a nearby stream that's able to supply nutrients to it. That's essentially what my treatment is doing. It's supplying the treatment to the follicle itself so that it can be the best it can be for you. So we're not actually implanting hairs. This is a completely non-surgical treatment. So if you literally just don't have any follicles, we can't just create a hair there, but we can make very thin hair become nice and thick and juicy. Or if the follicle's just not producing anymore, we can get that follicle in most cases to reactivate and grow into nice thick fuller hair. The treatment itself, it does go for 90 minutes. This is a treatment that I've actually designed myself. So what will happen after the consultation, education, you're happy to proceed, it's all great. You take a seat. We call through to a doctor. We make sure it's all above board, that, you know, you're aware of the risks and all that sort of stuff: bleeding, bruising, swelling, infection. In fact, the side effects, there's not much, to be honest. If anything, you might just feel a little bit tender the next day. Pain is another thing. Pain's slightly different when it comes to PRP treatment for the scalp, and I'll go into that a little bit more in more detail. I'll just talk about the, you know, start to finish sort of treatment process. So what happens is we, once we've got the A-OK, I can numb the area. Now the numbing is quite strong. It's the strongest that you can basically get. So it's just a cream that I can pop onto your scalp or your face, or wherever you want the hair regrowth to be. And we leave that on for 30 minutes. There's a little bit of time, in between, so you can go on your phone and make some phone calls, that sort of thing. That's totally fine. We've got a nice relaxing room here with some music as well. We also have a beautiful lounge that you could potentially sit in as well if you just wanted a little bit of privacy, if you had to make a phone call or something like that. And then I will basically draw your blood as well. So we've got these PRP, very professional kits here from T-Lab. Okay, so T-Lab is the most scientifically researched PRP system in the world. So it's currently world leading in terms of the science. There's lots of evidence behind it in terms of its efficacy. It's actually used primarily for doctors and things like that overseas. So it's German made, but it's a Turkish design. It's a Turkish based company, and it's used for pediatric orthopedics. This system can also regrow bone as well, so you can imagine what it can do for hair. There's loads of beautiful treatments for PRP that PRP can do, not just beauty, but it actually started for medical purposes. So yeah, draw up the blood, and then these little baby vials will actually go into the centrifuge and they'll spin. Now this is a state-of-the-art centrifuge because it's a 45-degree swing out system. So when this opens up, I can pop in the tubes and I'll actually swing out, and that's just so it can harvest the concentrate to the best of its ability. So not many systems actually come like that. It's very rare. In fact, I'm Australia's first stockist in Brisbane to actually have this machine. So I'm very delighted to be part of that community in terms of PRP and just wanting the best for clients. But anyway, once that is all spun and I've got the platelet component that I've taken previously from your blood and spun and all that sort of stuff, I basically let that just sit there, pop it into some syringes, and then I will take off your numbing cream, and then I will make sure the area's cleansed, aseptic, all that sort of stuff, nice and very careful with infection control. And then I'll actually micro needle your scalp or your beard, or wherever you want the hair regrowth, and that is to stimulate a little micro injury, because collagen induction or blood flow induction is scientifically sound with hair regrowth. So I want to have that as well as the PRP injections. So I basically micro needle the whole scalp, get it nice and red, so I can see that it's stimulating that that collagen or blood flow to that desired area, which is what we want. And then I'll go and I'll do the PRP little injections. Now that's where it can be a tiny little bit more painful, but I have got a TGA medical device that is approved for pain blocking, particularly with injections, which is this little doobie whacker here. So I basically use this as I'm doing the injection. It looks like a toothbrush really, but it is actually quite good. I was able to complete a treatment with very basic numbing, and it was tolerated really well. So I would say it's about 50% of a pain block, and that's what it states on their papers, research papers as well. So it's quite legit so far from my personal experience. Yeah, then we do the PRP injections, and then I'll put you under, with the remaining PRP, because I like to do 2 vials. I won't be injecting 2 vials, but I will have a lot left over. So that's when I will actually push the remaining PRP out onto the scalp and give you a nice scalp massage, and just get all that blood flowing and the PRP into the scalp. And then I'll pop you under the LED for 30 minutes. And that's just going to reduce inflammation. It's also going to stimulate blood flow. It's going to be amazing for wound healing. And then you'll basically just leave that on. You'll leave that on overnight, and then in the morning you'll give your scalp a really good wash. So the side effects, to be honest with you, there's not that much. It's usually really well tolerated. You will generally need 3. I will always recommend 3 treatments as per the initial growth phase, and they're 4 weeks apart, and then we come and have a review. Usually it's 6 months. So that's how I like to do my PRP treatments. And I've currently got a special where they're $400 per treatment, and that's going to be until the 31st of March. Usually they're $550 for a 90-minute treatment, so that's actually pretty good. The follow-up treatments, it really does depend on the evaluation. If you do have a medical diagnosis or your hair loss is quite severe, you might need a treatment every 4 months as a maintenance, or 6 months, or you just might need a top-up once a year. If you are quite time poor and you can't, if you think 90 minutes is just too long for you, I do have the express option, and it's just PRP injections. They still work really well, but probably not for severe hair loss. Just because, you know, the science shows that you can get really good growth from microneedling and PRP together, and the LED is just a complimentary add-on because it's amazing, so why not? And I have it. And at the end of the day, it's all about results and keeping people happy, so I'm happy with that. Clients are too, and you'll obviously get your aftercare kit and all that sort of stuff as well. But that's the treatment in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would be more than happy to offer you that complimentary treatment, whether it be over the phone, consultation, whether it's over the phone or in person at Milk Spa. Thank you. Bye.